Hello, friends, and welcome to Pour and Explore wine, food, and travel stories from around the world. I'm Nick Elliott, the Wine Guy. This is where we sip, savor, and wander through the world of wine, explore incredible food, and uncover the stories behind unforgettable destinations. Each week, you'll hear engaging conversations with wine pros, chefs, travelers, and fellow enthusiasts, plus educational episodes to help you sip smarter and explore deeper. So, grab a glass, pull up a chair, and let's pour, explore, and celebrate the good life. Let's dive in. All right, welcome back to Port Explore, everyone. I have to tell you, today's guest is someone I have been wanting to sit down with for a while. She and I have been talking and planning and scheming together for a couple of years now, and I'm really glad I finally got her on the mic. Chessine Nugent is the founder of Chessine's Travels. She is based on the Big Island of Hawaii and is the kind of travel professional that the industry genuinely needs more of. She started her career on cruise ships, spent 7 years working her way up to casino manager, all while simultaneously visiting more than 35 countries along the way. She then spent over 2 decades in international IT, helping businesses operate across borders and cultures before deciding to put all of that experience, the hospitality instincts, the global fluency, the cultural knowledge, into building her own travel company. And here's the thing about Chessine that sets her apart. She isn't selling you a brochure trip. Her whole philosophy is your world, your trip, your way. Small groups, private experiences, culturally immersive itineraries built around what you actually want to do and see and eat, of course. Not what a tour bus schedule tells us to do. She is a certified specialist in New Zealand, Australia, Japan, Korea, and Thailand, among many, many others. And she has personally been to every corner of the world she's recommending. She's also, as you'll hear today, someone who spotted two trends before most of the industry even caught on: slow travel and medical tourism. And that second one is particularly fascinating, and we're going to get into a little bit about what she's building in Thailand that marries world-class medical care with genuine cultural immersion. And then, and this is the part that I'm personally most excited about, we're going to talk about a collaboration that Chessine and I have been cooking up, and no pun intended, together with a company called The Table Less Traveled. There is a virtual cooking class coming up the first week of August. With a live chef joining us from Portugal, and I'll have all of the details down in the show notes. This is a precursor to a very special Portugal wine and food trip that she and I are planning for fall of 2027. Harvest season, small group, and on the ground with the sommelier, me. Details below. There's a lot to love in this episode, so let's get into it. Thank you so much for being here. All right, fantastic, Chessy. Thank you so very much for being on the show with me today. Welcome to Pour and Explore.
No, I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. It's been really great to get to know you over the last, I think it's been a couple of years at this point that you and I have been acquainted, and going back and forth and planning and scheming on doing something together. And I'm so glad I was able to finally pin you down and get you on the show. I talked a little bit about you at the top of the show, but I really wanted to dive in a little bit more about you and your background to start us off. Tell us how you got into the travel industry. How did you become one of the most amazing travel professionals in Hawaii in the U.S.?
Oh, thank you. Well, it's kind of I've had a degree in recreation leisure, and I ended up starting basically working in this industry. I worked on cruise ships for 7 years.
Mhm.
That 7 years. I ended up working my way up to being a casino manager.
Wow.
In that time frame, I've been fortunate enough in my lifetime to travel at least now about 35 countries.
Oh,
So
amazing.
well versed in regards to places to go and people to see and other things. After I took a break, and during that break, I took 23 years, I've been in the IT industry.
Mm.
So the IT industry, I also was always in the international business. I've helped support a lot of international aspects of people's business. So when I decided to kind of semi-retire, because I got tired of being in the IT business, and to me, you make a lousy retiree.
Right.
Why didn't you open up your own travel business since you know so much about it and help people end up experiencing new things that are different, more culturally immersive, more private, and something that is out of the norm, off the beaten. And that's basically how it started. Like this was started up, believe it or not, it started the day we ended up declaring COVID.
Excellent timing, Chessine. Excellent.
They did COVID. And about a week later, my husband goes, "You really want to start this?" I go, "Why not? It's the best time to start." Because what I haven't done in a long period of time is basically in this industry, right? In the hospitality industry again. But I have been in the IT industry for a long period of time. So what I ended up doing, I ended up seeking knowledge so that when things got back to normal, I would end up being able to give great services to the clients or passengers that I serve. And what I did was I ended up contacting all the tourism industries. So I'm a specialist for New Zealand, Australia, Japan, Korea, Thailand, a lot of places that are on my side of the world, which is near Hawaii,
Right.
throughout Europe. So I can end up speaking quite well about Europe. But I wanted to specialize something that was closer to my home. So, and from that, I ended up building that knowledge, reading a lot, learning and calling up people, establishing small or getting kind of contact with different suppliers can end up. I wanted to help after COVID that may be impacted by COVID, and then the industry heavily was impacted by COVID. So I wanted to end up. How can I help them and help them grow as well as help me grow, but still give our clients and passengers or anything a special location that is private and then culturally immersive to them and how it fits their needs.
Yeah. So, COVID obviously was an amazing time to continue education, for special specialty industries like ours, the travel industry, the wine industry, these, we're all heavily impacted over that time. And I, like you, took a lot of time during that time to read books and, to check out websites and really re-immerse myself in a world that I was already immersed in. But, I had extra time to be able to learn more about what I do. And I think it's great that um, not only were able to take that time, but actually did take that time to set yourself up as an expert. So when we came out of COVID eventually, you were the good person. For immersive experience, experiential travel, they're calling it these days. Experiential travel is amazing. And I know you are an expert on a lot of great destinations. So that's what I want to talk about next is some of the places that you specialize in. So our listeners know the great experiences that could have for your company. Tell us about some of the places that you love to go and you love to send your clients.
Well, in Southern and I love Japan. I've been to Japan. I also love New Zealand. The TV that I heavily tie with the tourism boards, they're just fabulous places. I love the culture. I love the food. Those are my two most favorite places to go. I specialize in both. I also love Patagonia. And throughout Patagonia, I love, I'm kind of an, I guess, adventure type of exotic, travel agent. So if you like something like, I'm more like a tomboy when I grew up. So I'm like fishing. I love cooking. I love, swimming. I used to snorkel a lot, used to dive a lot. So any place that has something like that, I've been to like, Fiji, all those different places. I can basically specialize in that in depending. So by using the things that I love, I also like, promoting places that I love and see. I'm looking at, one of my favorite places. If I had to think of favorite places I've been in the world, I would say Iceland is one. Iceland is a fabulous place to go. New Zealand's good. Japan. I'm looking at, Korea now. Vegan people that are vegan church people, because that's a great place for vegan,
Oh, yeah.
and also the culture for that. Um, the other, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, some of the other places that can, those are usually my top ones off there. The other one I have always loved is Hong Kong. Yeah, there's something about Hong Kong. I thought when I first went, I thought it was going to be, too crowded and messy. No, it is the cleanest city I have ever been. I've been on their subways. I just love it because where a lot of people think it's crowded and heck, a lot of Asian countries are very neat, very clean, and very polite. And they may be kind of hectic. I'm not saying it isn't because of the mass amount of human beings there, but it is. Wonderful places.
Amazing. So, in addition to the experiential travel, I know just in some passing conversations that you and I have had over the last couple of months, is you're starting to dip your toe into the medical tourism side of the travel industry. Tell us a little bit about that and how that is really becoming a thing.
Well, that is becoming a thing. I think, to be honest, with the changes that we've had in Medicare, the big beautiful bill and things like that, right? I've had a few people. There's two things that they always ask me. Justine, I would like to go somewhere more comfortable, but I'd like to stay long. So slow travel is becoming more popular. It's also becoming more popular is because of the cost of healthcare.
Mhm.
And for us in Hawaii, because I live in a rural environment, we don't have access to healthcare
Right.
a lot of places. So when I ended up, I partnered up with a firm here that lives in Hawaii, and we're going to do, in July, I'm going to Thailand, Thailand structure. We have designed a integrated wellness program. So one half of it would be you're going to go to, a Bowman Garden, which is the top Asia hotel, like not hotel, the hospital in the world. And I'm going to get what they call a vitality testing that goes from head to toe,
Right.
over 40 years old. So you spend basically the whole day there, and it's a private type of one, and they will go through everything from women, hormone, anything, eyes, the heart, everything from head to toe. And after that, I thought is, besides you being there and you're having this testing, why don't we add on a nice private, introduction to what Thailand is? So, going to Bangkok, we're going to have the private driver that's going to take you to the floating market. You're also going to be able to take a cooking class that is done from the Blue Elephant, which is like, you can do either vegan or regular one. And we're also going to, experience Muay Thai fighting.
Oh, fun.
Like a really interesting camping, but within that, we're also going to immerse with you all the typical things that Thailand well known, Thai spa days, wellnesses, and that whole episode. So, I mean, we're going to do a very comprehensive one, and I'm going to basically, I'm going to, what I'm going to experience what I would like to sell to you or like to promote to you.
Yeah. This, what you're talking about is not necessarily a new concept, but in the world in medicine. But I've heard, and especially through you, that this is becoming more and more popular. So I think it's a great time to get into it. And I really encourage the listeners who are listening today, pop down to the show notes. I'm going to make sure that Chessine's information is down in the show notes, how to be able to get a hold of her. So if this interests you at all, I think it's a really fun thing to look into, whether or not you have worries about your physical health. Obviously, with all of the other amazing things that are going on with the additional immersion into the culture in Thailand, it's really going to be super, super. So definitely head down to the show notes and pull up Jessine's information, learn more about the medical trips that she's going to be hosting in Thailand coming up soon. Yeah, and while you're on the website, you need to check out Chessine's. I was on there this morning. I was on there last week reading through some of the great stories. I absolutely love your blog, and we talked before we started recording today about how much I enjoy it. It's a wonderful mix of education and practical tips and tricks around travel. Give us some highlights from your blog recently.
Well, basically, now this was tied to, believe it or not, my IT background. It's because I used to always have to give, because I was more like a business analyst, and when you come to talk to me, and I helped, in foreign countries, I always had to give you all these tips or things on that. Number one, how to do business, how to enter the countries, right? And basically what is going on and some of the cultural protocol, right? And a lot of people don't know. So those are some of the tips I get. Plus, I'm also avid reader of a lot of industries and business paper, like Wall Street Journal and all that. So what I also do is give you an insight of what I think is going to change in our industry. Going travel, a lot of people don't know you now have to make $100 entry fee to get into London. But we don't know some of these. I do know after COVID, Japan has the entry type of system. So what I try to do is, by giving you all those tips, you're prepared when you enter or do pre-enter to do all these things. So it doesn't basically stop you when you hit the border, because there's a lot of things that are happening right now in different countries.
Yeah, there's a blog post on there that I was just reading this morning that talks about how the current conflict in Iran has been affecting prices, travel prices and things like that. So I think it's hopefully by the time this airs, that's not going to be a thing anymore. Knock on wood. But let's we'll go towards positives, and that will be the case. But it really is a great and so much value, within it. Like you said, general information, cultural information, which I love, information on the different laws that are happening within, different countries. Um, you know, eh, ha, silly little travel things like, forget, did you remember to, do your currency exchange, and, before went through. I don't like to say it out loud that some people don't necessarily think about that before they travel, but that's why having someone like you, guiding them through the system, is really great, for travel.
Yeah, and I like one tip people don't know. So majority of people are Costco people, right?
Yes.
And y'all have a Citibank card.
Yep.
So think about where Costco is in the world. Okay. And you have in New Zealand and all those places. You can take that card, you can use it there, and you will not get an exchange rate fee.
Oh, wow.
have what they call a legal presence in that country. Now, that's my IT background, but that's what you can do. So you can use your credit card without an exchange and have no issue.
All right. Well, you heard it here, folks. First, that is a great. I didn't even know that. It's awesome. I use my Costco card every couple of weeks. So that's amazing. Love that.
Yeah.
That is great information. Um, so let's pivot just a little bit. I mentioned at the top of the show that you and I have been talking, for quite a while. We've been racking our brains about how you and how Chessine's travels and the wine guy can work together. And we came up with amazing collaboration, which I want to talk about, with an awesome company called The Table Left Traveled. I'm hoping to have them on the show coming up. I don't know if it happens or not, but uh, Table Left Traveled is a company that Chessine introduced me to. Tell me how that relationship came about.
That one, when I was looking at something different, right? And I wanted to say, I think the number one reason people travel, they love to eat. Okay? And
Number
they
one.
love to eat no matter what they eat. So I sat there and I said, what is a good way to look at having a cultural experience, but also eating, but then also having wine and all the culture, but in a very more intimate kind of environment. That is what the table less travel is. They do very small groups. They're out of Seattle. The person that I met happened to live here in Hawaii, and
Mhm.
they're Japanese contact. And we started talking. We started getting to know each other. And I said, this would make a perfect. You guys are the perfect firm to go, because that's when I reached out to you and I said, because Portugal is so popular nowadays, right? So let's look at it as the reason why people prefer to go because they want to go live there.
Mhm. All right.
Right. So how about we give them a taste of Portugal? Doesn't mean you have to go there. Maybe you take this cooking class that is basically done in Portugal. She's working and giving you a private class. Then what we'll do is if everyone likes to go, Nick can end up having a nice private group that is special. Plus, he also has the ability to match the wine and the food together. You go with the basically the lead in Portugal. And then what I like about the majority of them, they work with local people. That's what you want in this industry.
Absolutely.
Local people, because the local people have all the fine tips. Then if an outside third firm that comes in with a representative does not, right? They're traveling for your safety in reality. But they'll what you want is something that's immersive and they can give you tips, but also show you a different side of what it's like to live. That's what I love.
Yeah, and again, folks who are listening today, I will go ahead and put the information for the table less traveled down in the show notes as well, so you can check out their website. But I'm really excited about the things that you and I and that firm is going to be putting on together. First and foremost, Chessing kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit a minute ago, but that's all right. We are planning a cooking class, a virtual cooking class that all of us are putting together first week of August. And put some information down in the show notes. It'll be the first week of August, 2026. You definitely want to check it out because we are going to be hosting a chef who will be coming in live from Portugal. I mean, how cool is that? The chef will be coming in live from Portugal. She'll be putting on a cooking class. With the class, you're going to get all of the ingredients. So if you want to cook along in your kitchen at home, you can cook along with the chef. And with the added bonus, I'm going to be there talking about Portuguese wine as well. So we're going to have this beautiful uh, banter back and forth with the chef and Portuguese wine, and of course, the guests who are joining us as well. It's really, really going to be a lot of fun. We've already chosen the dish and letting one know what the dish is off the top of your head. If you want to learn more about that, go check out the link to class, and that's also going to have the recipe and the link to the wine and everything. But it'll be so much fun,
Oh,
absolutely, and you're going to be there to join us, right, Jesse?
yeah. My husband and I, and one thing good about it is when you have the link, you can invite your friends and family just as long as you guys are sharing your kitchen.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Make a party out of it,
And
absolutely, and then afterwards you have lunch.
yeah,
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's happening. It starts at approximately 11 o'clock in the morning here in California. So, time is when it is. It'll be after mid afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. But you definitely want to check that out. Stop listening right now. I mean, hit pause. But stop listening right now. Go to the show notes and click on that link, and it's super easy to get into. You go get yourself the ingredients. I've put the link to the wine that we're going to be serving on that link as well. Buy a couple bottles of that wine to have delivered to your house. I did that through Total Wine, easy to get to. It's beautiful Portuguese white wine that we're going to be tasting that day. So you definitely want to check that out. It's really, really going to be a lot of fun. And that event, as Chessy mentioned, is going to be the lead in to this awesome trip that she and I are putting on together with the help of the Table Less Traveled for the fall of 2027. So let's talk a little bit about that, Jesse. And I know we don't want to let too many details out of the bag, but in a perfect world, what would that look like for your guests?
well, in the perfect world would be what I personally can help you with, depending where you are, and working with the table Let's Travel, right? I can more like what I consider myself the logistics person, right? I want to make sure you're getting there safely. Did you guys have mileages, do air and things like that? All the what I call back office or background stuff that needs to make you get there safely and that. Then I would marry up with the Table Less Travel. I'd work with their crew and see what they need to do to let us, how do we basically coincide or basically work with them so that the trip that they're planning and with all the people that we're visiting and the places we're seeing and the sites and the cooking classes and everything are basically all tied in, right? And then what would happen in when I would think this is my take on it would be since it would be a private trip, this is not going to be one that they do one that they normally do. But the private trip would then have you on it with, and let's say if you wanted to do any modifications to the current trip, because it's private, you can do it.
Oh, yeah.
And because it would basically, we would use you as the big guide and wine guru can tell us what can we change to make that private and special for that group.
Absolutely, yeah. When Chessine came to me with this idea, I thought it was a wonderful one, and it's something that I do often, but not quite like this, which I found super intriguing. So the I'm not going to call it a bonus, but one of the great things about this tour is that you're going to have me, a certified sommelier, chef, someone who knows what there on the ground with you, taking you through these cute little towns and these beautiful little casitas and wineries and so on throughout Portugal, and wine and food, and it's going to be during harvest season in Europe as well. So I'm excited about that. Um, because we might even be able to capture some harvest being done, grapes being picked, maybe even wine being pressed and things like that. So it's a really, really special time in Portugal to experience the wine industry, and then, of course, all of the amazing culture and food that goes on top of it.
Yeah. Oh no, I think it's fabulous, and I think one thing good is so many people are wanting to go see Portugal and wanting to experience it in more from immersive area. That's why when I was talking to people, well, because they've never been to Portugal, haven't been in places, I go, would you love to have a cooking class to experience first, then see if you like this? Like I said, the taste of Portugal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's a really lovely concept that the Table Less Traveled has put together. So again, the cooking class is in conjunction with the Table Less Traveled, and this is kind of their specialty. It's their introduction to travel to different places around the world, is, really immersing yourself in the food aspect and the wine aspect of that location first, which I think is super, super cool. So I'm really excited about that. Again, pause the show, go down to the show notes and check out the link to that. And then on my website, as well as Chessine's website, coming up very, very soon. Hopefully, by the time this airs, or maybe a little bit after, we're going to have information on this trip that's coming in fall of 2027. We don't have dates just yet, but hopefully we will have those very, very soon. So you definitely want to check that out. Chessine, I really, really appreciate you having on the show. I always like to end my shows, and I hope this isn't an ambush, but I like to do a little lightning round at the end of my show. So a couple of quick questions for Chessine.
Uh-huh.
All right. Chessy, what is your most favorite thing that you've eaten in the last month or so?
Oh my god. Um, wow. Last month, New Zealand ice cream.
New Zealand ice cream. Tell us about that. I don't know anything about New Zealand ice cream.
Well, New Zealand ice cream. Okay, one thing you'll know about New Zealand food. Okay, they have heavy restrictions, and if you ever go there for long periods of time, you spend a lot of time. Everyone will tell you, "Wow, the food tastes cool,"
Yeah.
and it does. I honestly, because they don't have a lot of additives or anything. So New Zealand, there's two things they love: their ice cream and their meat pie.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
have had New Zealand meat pies. There are two or three New Zealand restaurants here in the city of San Diego. Uh, and yeah, meat pies are definitely a good thing.
And it is when I went out and I was talking to my vendor, they said, "Chissing, you have to try this place." Honestly, like, look, we ended up going by, like, so we ended up eating it. And there is a big difference, but there's something about their ice cream. It's not like, and I happen to love ice cream, but I've eaten Italian ice cream, I've eaten Mexican ice cream, I've eaten New Zealand. It's just, it's lighter. It's creamier, but lighter. Yeah. And there's something that they're very well known. It's called hokey pokey.
Okie dokies.
Toffee, perhaps, yeah, but that's what it is. They have toffee with like a vanilla ice.
Um,
These are great.
All right. Well, you heard us here first, everybody. New Zealand ice cream. Go check that out. At your local grocery store. I doubt it. All right. Justine, tell me what is always in your carry-on when you go on any trip. One thing that's always in your carry-on.
Always in my carry-on. I hate to say it. It would be, um, like a small little medical kit. So people get cuts and everything like that. And it is. I always have like anywhere I go, like my handbags or something like that, because something has always happened. And it's usually, thank God it's not me, but I usually have to need it and give it to. Then they finally said to me one time, "What do you have in your bag?" I go, "What do you want to know?" And I can get it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's It's not silly at all. I think it's extremely practical, and it's something that I do myself. I've got a little medical kit with burn cream and triple antibiotic ointment and the Band-Aids and all of that stuff always in my carry-on. I think that's a great idea. And then my last question for you, I'll make an easy one for you. A piece of advice that you give to any of your clients or any client seeking a travel professional, what's the biggest piece of advice you give?
The biggest piece of advice I give you is a lot of people think travel agents are paid by the client, the person who books you.
Mm.
Yes. No, we never get paid by you. We get paid by the people that we work with. Because I've had someone say, well, you can pay me. No, you don't pay me. The person that I'm working with pays me. You never get paid. Now, that being said, I'm one of the few travel agents that don't charge a fee. And that's
Mm.
very rare in the industry because I kind of enjoy the work. So charging you $100 to $200 just to talk to me is silly in my book. I'm one of the weird people that will say, I'm charging it because I don't want to charge it. So do one thing, and to always book early. That's the thing. You got to plan, especially in today's world of air flights, changes, and over tourism. You got to book early.
Plan ahead, people. Plan ahead. Well, amazing. Chessine, thank you so much for all of the valuable insights. I'm so happy that you and I have gotten the chance to know one another over the last couple of years. I'm very, very excited to work with you on this trip to Portugal. And I know that there's going to be an amazing relationship. If you like the show, folks, please go ahead and smash that like button and make sure you give me a follow. Thank you so much for your time, Chessine. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, 2 years in the making and absolutely worth the wait. Thank you so much, Chesney. You heard it today. Travel doesn't have to be expensive and it doesn't have to be stressful. It just has to be planned right. And Chessine is the person who does that for you. A couple of things I'd love for you to do right now. First, go find Chessine. Her website is chessinesTravels.com. You'll find that link down in the show notes. You can also find her on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. All of those are going to be right below as well. And seriously, read her blog. It is, if you like to travel, which I'm sure you do if you're listening to the show, you have to check out all of the awesome tips and tricks and practical stuff that she talks about to make you a smarter traveler. And it's all for free right on her blog. Please go ahead to the show notes right now and grab the link to our virtual cooking class, which is coming up the 1st of August. We'll have a chef cooking for you and with you live from the country of Portugal, cooking together in your kitchen with Portuguese wine on your table, hopefully, which will be expertly paired with this dish. I will be there as well to talk about this wine, this food, and why these things pair so beautifully together, all to get you ready to rock and roll for our trip to Portugal in 2027 in the fall. So you do not want to miss that. It's going to be a small private group, and we would love for you to join us. So please check out the links down below. If you love this episode, please hit subscribe, leave a review, share it with your friends. If you love to travel, please go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you on board. Until next time, everyone, keep wondering and wandering. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Pour and Explore. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear your stories or questions. Drop me a message at cheers@thewineguy.vin. That's cheers@thewineguy.vin. Or let's connect on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. Grab those links at thewineguy.vin. Until next time, let's keep wondering and wandering. Cheers, everybody.